Prime XBT is the most powerful trading platform offering immediate access to over 30 assets. Trade cryptocurrencies, forex, commodities, stock indices, and much more, all from a single Bitcoin settled account. Visit the link below and start trading on Prime XBT in minutes.
Ethereum Network is an interoperable DeFi ecosystem offering token pre-sales, staking as a service, project incubation, and much more. Visit thebirbnest.com/Ethereum. Globe is an upcoming crypto derivatives exchange offering up to 100 times leverage on crypto and DeFi perpetual contracts. Sign up for early rewards at thebirbnest.com/Globe. Radix is the first Layer 1 protocol built specifically to serve DeFi. More information at thebirbnest.com/Radix. YFDAI is democratizing finance by creating the most secure, transparent, and user-friendly ecosystem of DeFi products. To learn more, visit thebirbnest.com/YFDAI.
Okay, everybody, it's Birb here, Adrian speaking. Hope you're doing okay. Let me know very quick in the chat if you can hear me, see me okay, and because I'm super excited to actually be hosting this very first webinar after our amazing, successful 14-day free trading congress full of webinars, more than 45 webinars, more than 50 hours educational video content. That is exactly what we had, along with free memberships for everybody, free 14 days. You know, this was pretty much wild. But right now, this is the first webinar I'm hosting after this congress ended. Right now, I'm actually approaching, as far as I saw, about 275,000 followers, which is pretty wild. With all the recent price action going on, it is unquestionable that it was very hard to remain, I should say, unbothered. And for those who are watching all my previous webinars, for those who are actually exclusive members and beyond, we were seeing this 3-month-long consolidation going sideways, right? And each and every single time I was warning about the, first of all, retest of low $40,000, and then possible fake breakdown on the bottom, with this difference that this fake breakdown turned into actual heavy slide to the downside, and ever since we saw something that I would refer to as COVID crash to zero, and despite it has to do so much less, in my opinion, right now with COVID than not, I still perceive that in a similar pattern. It's kind of like similar, right? So again, what I would want to discuss today is something that I probably just came to watch, which is whether or not BTC is about to recover, or it's the end of the bull market. And for those, again, who know me, for those who watch, what I say, what I write on Twitter, what I write in my Bitcoin reports, what I share in my video reports with everybody, it's always all available. You may know that I do believe that BTC did not top out just yet. Okay, there's my good bro, Nebraska Gunner. How's it going, bro? I hope everything's fine on your end as well. There are so many good people actually here in the in the stream. There is some Billy Larper just saying, you called the top at 32K, bro. So some people can't read charts, and I think they should not be trading, and Billy probably is one of those. So I highly encourage everybody to be able to watch and follow what I say, not selectively but holistically, right? To be able to ever comment on what I do or not. But besides, let's get it going, because I want to share a couple of charts with you guys. I want to chart some altcoins, perhaps. I want to answer some of the questions that you may have later on as we go. So about last 5-10 minutes, I hope to be able to answer some questions that you may have. So please make sure, guys, to first of all subscribe to this video, to this YouTube channel that you're watching the video on, as well. If you're on Twitter, then, well, good for you as well. But leave your comments, leave your thumbs up, leave your likes, and leave your questions so that I am able to cover that later on. And to start off, to kick off, how about we just go and visit what we recently, just saw about the FUDs going on, okay? So many FUDs pieces, so many, China bonds talks, so many Treasury bonds talks, U.S. Treasury, as far as I'm concerned, they released a couple of articles, statements about cryptocurrencies being part of crypto evasion, like of the tax evasion processes, and whatnot. Now you are seeing Bloomberg saying that Bitcoin is dead all over again. The sentiment is at literal lows. So I do believe that we're looking at a very, very similar case and real pattern, that what we saw with the COVID crash with the COVID crash last year. So actually have a look at on my screen. Okay, this is current price action for Bitcoin, and let's just get it and move it to the crash which we saw last year. Okay, so this crash, as I was referring on the Benzinga yesterday's kind of like interview, for those who are watching, we were looking at the 50% decline, 50% downside slide. Okay, with this difference that, of course, nominally this slide was nothing compared with what we saw 2 days ago, right? The slide was from $8,000 down to $3,800. Okay, it was about 50% slide within quite a short period of time. And what had happened right after, was somehow called like some form of a V-shaped recovery, right? When you see a price action going on like this, and then you see a very sudden, significant, sharp decline, right? It is abnormal volatility, and because it's abnormal volatility on the selling side, it usually is a good buying opportunity. On the other way around, whenever you see abnormal volatility on the topish side, on the bullish side, this is usually a time to wait to leave the market. Okay, so right now, there was a lot of FUD going on ever since the Elon Musk, and then China bonds, as I was saying, the U.S. Treasury now Bloomberg, is saying Bitcoin is dead, that it collapsed. On top of that, you were seeing literally extremely fearful crowds, right? When you go to the Fear and Greed Index, you see that this is actually in 19 units, and 19 points is historically very low. Yesterday was 11. And 11 is, only a few times in the entire history you could have, literally seen that, it was at these levels. It's not a regular case, and too often happens. So that you see such low sentiment, such terrible negative sentiment. And what is for sure is that this negative sentiment is usually a good buying opportunity. The sentiment is usually bearish because people have the tendency to be overly bullish on the tops and overly bearish on the bottoms. The let's say the wise money, whenever they approach the market, is when they see and decide whether enter here or not, they would check firstly the overall returns, year to date so far, so that they're able to tell how much they missed and if it's a good opportunity for them to invest. The dumb money, aka the people who are inexperienced, the people who just join, who literally join on the top, who take out the loans to invest in Bitcoin. What they do is they usually see it in the kind of like other side of the coin, and what they see is, okay, this coin, this asset, this stock increased so much, it has to be the strongest stock ever. I'm a fucking genius. I better invest it right now, because it's so strong. There's no way it reverses. And usually when the trend looks the strongest, when it looks the most bullish, usually somewhere in the tops, it is exactly where it reverses, right? Because as I said, people have the tendency to believe, to kind of like not to expect unexpected, right? When the market goes up continuously upwards, they would expect it to continue like that forever. And the more people like that, are certain about their choices, the more greed on the market, okay, like you're seeing here or here, the more greed you see in the market, the more the bigger chances that the market is about to reverse, because you have the bigger liquidity pool, for the big money to exit the market. So it's kind of like rotation. The wise money loads up on the bottom and rides it all the way to the top, and the dumb money just joins on the top to ride it all the way down to the bottom on the sells, so that they capitulate on the bottom right into the hands of the same people who actually sold them on the top. So that is a very simple kind of like mechanism. That is how simply it works usually, And I definitely want to mention again, before I continue, there are some comments that somebody cannot see, some live video for some reason, I don't know, but hopefully you guys are seeing everything is just fine. But moving on, let me actually just reshare my screen. Overall, what happened after this crash in COVID, like the COVID crash from March, is the V-shaped recovery. Okay, again, some trend going up, unexpected sharp decline, black swan event, whatever, a very short decline, right? And a V-shaped recovery. That's what it usually happens. But until it happens, it takes time to become quote unquote rational or technical. Okay, so ever since I spoke about it so many times in my video reports that I shared, especially with the exclusive members of the Birbnest, because that's where I usually share it. Like if you literally go to either to my personal channel, right, on our Discord, or to the Exclusive Nest Club video report channel, where I post along with a couple of my other team members, post the video reports for everybody. For the past couple of months, I was literally sharing, how important that was to stay, kind of like, cautious about the pumps, right? You can literally see I was talking about how tricky that was, right? I was literally explaining that to the people so many times that, I would be very surprised if they don't remember that. But those tops, were definitely something that you could literally expect, for the market to go south. And the same way, I was talking about the top around about here, respectively, to the $58,000 level, that anything above it was pretty much like sold, was overbought. Okay, so what you saw in there is that there was a peak, there was a new high. Okay, there was a resistance which kind of like went south. Then there was a breakout, and the decisive point and the arbitrary point, whether or not the market is supposed to bounce and continue higher towards the new term highs, it actually did not go higher. It did not hold the support, and instead violated the support, right? Neglected the support and destroyed it, deviated to the downside, right? Which made it, classical case of a fake out, right? This was a fake out. And this fake out means that anything on the top, anything over the resistance, is just a liquidity grabbing, right? And the big money tricks algos, people, late buyers, FOMO buyers, to believe that we are going upwards, right? And that's exactly how they get this compressed liquidity layer. Because what the big money is the most afraid of is the lack of liquidity, is the slippage, right? So here's what happens. When you have big money, and when you have billions, let's say, right? When your institutions loaded up heavily in Bitcoin, and you have hundreds of millions and billions, the only thing that you care about is the liquidity, right? It's not about the place or level of the price on the market to exit at the right point. It's about the liquidity. And because again, when you have enough money to move the market, then whenever, let's say, you want to dump quickly a lot of your holdings, or buy quickly a lot of your holdings aggressively, then if you do it, in a single market sell, you have the sideways price action, and you actually cause a crash, And this way, if you had, let's say, 1 billion, and you cause a crash, which goes because you want to exit aggressively, and you just literally dump the market by 20 to 30%, then all of a sudden you don't realize, of course you keep realizing the profits on the way down, right? Because that's how the market order just works. But what it does is, again, you decide then naturally to give back about 20, 30%, perhaps 15% of your money, which is a lot. We are talking about hundreds of millions of dollars, just for the sake of having poor liquidity. So what you have is you usually avoid selling on the sideways where people are not interested to trade, right? This was the case in here. This was the sideways. And usually the sideways also, if this is a sideways somewhere in the advanced part and side of the bull, stage of the bull market. So you cause a lot of volatility, right? And whenever there is a big kind of like money, big aggression on the buyer's side from the FOMOers, from the late buyers, this is, from the high mainstream kind of like attachment and engagement in the market, then, this causes a lot of volatility. And this big dumps that happen, like like those $10,000 sell bombs, like this one, right, or like this one, or like this one, or like this one, most of the time it is quickly rebought, because the big sell occurs. Let's say big sell occurs, and because the market has been bullish for quite some time already, the wise money realizes the profit, but the dumb money just joins then and becomes complacent, so that they say, okay, this is just self dip, I just buy the dip, right? So what they do is they buy the dip. But whenever the market approaches similar levels, the same money that dumps here, they just decide to realize the same profits around the same levels, right? And they again, all over again, cause the crash like that, right? But this way they can only realize the big portions of profits. So to be able to exit the market as a whale, as an institution, you have to trick people into believing that the market is going up forever, right? And the more people the more people are bullish, the more certainty in the market that the market is going up. The bigger fear and greed index, of course, the higher scale, the bigger chances that the whales are going to dump on you, right? So exactly what happens is that Bitcoin and usually crypto and other cryptos usually end up with the blow of tops, right? Because the only way to fully exit, not just take profits, like fully get out of the market at one point, is whenever everybody just presses in the other direction. Okay, it's like this Black Friday you have in the in the stores, that people are rushing to buy some goods and stuff, TVs and whatnot. So so knowing that those people are FOMOing in, and the price is going up for that, because of that, then the only way for you to exit and fully take, this fully get out of the game, all right, and fully close your positions, liquidate your profits, is whenever everybody's buying. That is where you kind of like decide to drop a couple of multi-billion bombs on the people, because they will buy that, because there is extreme aggression on the buying side. Okay, I hope that makes sense, guys. Please let me know if it does. Sorry, we can listen to you since we have to watch the actual charts. What? No. Sorry. Oh, no, that's not that. So there was a China ban Bitcoin again, no joke. Yeah. Well, anyways. Yeah, so as I was saying, markets top out on crypto and on Bitcoin in form of blow-off tops because of that reason, because it's full of whales. It's paradoxically kind of like a centralized game, and the only way out for the whales is to organize, well, to trick people into believing that market is going up forever, and literally, just drop the bombs, the selling bombs in a form of blow top, right? That's where the volatility kind of like kicks in and the complacency kicks in, so that people are starting to consider, whether or not this is the bull market or not still. But most important message is that this is not how the tops look like. Okay, this is not how the tops look like. Tops on crypto don't take months to develop. It's too volatile. It's too dynamic market. Okay, and again, let's see what happens. right? There's some dumps going on right now. So this is the market selling, right? And this is the market selling which I was referring to also. So that big money just leaves. This has to do probably with some bots going on as well. That, you know, you see big slippage like this. Let's say, what is it? 8% decline in a matter of, what is that? 5 minutes, 15 minutes, right? Doesn't matter much. It doesn't matter much because that's something that you have to be ready and prepared for in this post-traumatic stress disorder kind of like thing. As I was referring, this V-shaped recovery starts being technical or quote unquote rational only after a certain period of time. It's not that the market will recover just like that in one go. Instead, okay, it would go irrationally in here, just go in some sideways. Okay, it has to kind of like give people time to break through the denial. Lots of people, of course, through the dump, go liquidated. This dump was of abnormal volatility, of course. This is COVID crash to zero, as I referred to that. There are a lot of theories, for why that might have happened. I actually found quite an interesting kind of like a point with literal link and source being sort of like legit, that there was a guy, calling himself an insider, saying literally hours before the dump happened, about the China FUD coming up, right? About some massive FUD going up, about where is that? I'm not sure I'm seeing this again, but he was literally saying about the targets and the perfect timestamps, it all happened. So it was kind of like very interesting to watch. And it was supposed to be to kind of like get rid of some stakeholder in the market. Whether or not this is true, it doesn't matter much, because what matters now is that we are in this post-traumatic stress disorder kind of like phase. The biggest liquidations occurred with those dumps, the biggest volatility ever. 5 minutes, 5,000 candles to the downside that lasted literally 5 minutes. This was a lot of capital. This gave a lot of capitulations, and a lot of capitulation going on. And as we head into the weekends are usually less directional, are more, I should say, clueless, because people usually take weekends off. So the market is usually more boring, more sideways. And it would match the overall case, so that we have a couple of days of a directional movement, very volatile movement, okay? And after which, at one point, we should see the bargain recovery, okay? Because Bitcoin as a fundamentally valuable asset, it didn't just change over a day that it became worthless shit, right? It's not that the one day you decide that Bitcoin is the best asset on the planet, digital gold and whatnot, and on the other day you wake up and decide, okay, Bitcoin is shit, it's fundamentally useless, and then just do the complete opposite. Okay, so whatever happens after 50% declines and around those levels, which is way up below abnormal volatility, which was about 30%, to the downside, 30-40% is usual volatility on the corrections, on the secondary corrections, long medium term. So anything below is pretty much like abnormal downside volatility, and this abnormal downside volatility is nothing else but just a buying opportunity. So what I would expect is I don't expect Bitcoin, or same for Ethereum, Litecoin, just not to stay for long around these levels. Instead, I would focus on getting some sideways, some directional sideways, non-directional sideways, perhaps even sweeping lows. This is extremely volatile market right now, extremely volatile, and it means technical analysis, doesn't really apply this well. You have to wait it through. The market is not technical right now. Same way it was not technical for some time on the COVID crash, right? You have to give it some time. You have to, this was bad looking candle. This was not good looking candle either. You saw literally something that, was nothing bullish at the beginning, right? You couldn't tell that this was some insane bullish recovery, some bullish pattern, inverse head and shoulders, double bottom, or you name it. Okay. Instead, you saw that it was lacking the direction for some time, and it slowly just took the steroids up. That is what I'm expecting as well here. You can see that this volatility is pretty much like insane, right? See what happens. Bottom 37.6, right? 38.8, 3 minutes later. This is definitely insane bottomish, abnormal volatility. You would see a lot of that. Okay, so you should not be surprised. You should not be surprised with that. Yeah, so if that is, again, if we are to believe that it is true, China reiterates call for crackdown on Bitcoin mining, we can actually just investigate that. Right? We can investigate again. Where to get it? Let's see what's cracking. Right? Similar charts, by the way. There you go. China. This is so hilarious. China reiterates call for crackdown on Bitcoin mining. Those developers, they always do that on the bottoms, do they? They literally always do that on the bottoms. As many times as I remember any China FUD in the past years, past cycles, this is all at the most bearish environment. This is engineered FUD, okay? Fear, uncertainty, to trigger fear, uncertainty, overall disbelief, depressive state of the market, to let big money accumulate. I promise you that, okay? Because it's not that the bull market was canceled. I told you that bull markets don't end with the tops like lasting 3 months sideways. Bull markets on crypto historically end up with strong blow off top. Okay, and there is not a single doubt about that. There is always no other single top indicator that would tell me to decide. We can actually just get it in here. There you go. I was talking about this is my free Bitcoin report. Okay, you see that this type of top indicator for net unrealized profit and loss, which is my favorite one, NUPL, which stands for amount of liquidity locked in the market, or I should say available in the market, laying on the table. So it works as an indicator, on chain that tells you how much money people leave on the table in an unrealized profit. Okay, the loot on the table, and this loot is always consumed by whales on top. So where people, and this also serves as a sentiment indicator, because the more money people keep on the table, the more bullish they have to be, if you know what I mean. Okay, because they have no other choice. If they join up late, they keep it on the table because they just joined, and at the same time they have to believe and rationalize their late buys. So they have to believe that it is going up, and the more people believe it's going up endlessly and infinitely, that it's never going back, the bigger chances for the downside reversal. So historically speaking, again, if we go for the NUPL, historically speaking, anytime that we saw extreme euphoria in the market coming from the net unrealized profit and loss, which is usually over 0.75 ratio on the NUPL, all the blue kind of like sides, over that, this is always toppy for the market, right? The top for the market here, some local top in here, some bear market reversal here, 2013, bull market 2017 reversal, and we are here currently. Okay, so which is completely not toppish. If you think about it, we are exactly at the same place that we were in here, pretty much, right? That we are right now here. So a lot of people were liquidated, of course, which is exactly what you saw in the big NUPL drop, sharp decline of NUPL, coming from the fact that net unrealized profit became realized. The market cap was kind of like just decreased because there was a lot of money being liquidated. They got out of the market in liquidation. So long story short, that is not toppish. No top indicator is strong enough to show me the top. Okay. Instead, I see a general repetition of overly excessively abnormal, downside volatility correction, but still similar to what we saw in the market crash in COVID. With this difference that we are late in the bull market cycle, right? We're definitely not in the bear market. That doesn't look like a bear market. And again, if I were to decide, we are somewhere over here, right? Somewhere over here, like up in the cycle. In this entire upside cycle, I'd say we're in the final stage, still about 70% completion perhaps. And one way or another, like it or not, I do believe that we're still on the path towards $90,000 to $120,000. I still believe that it's going to recover anytime soon. I keep, for the past months, ever since this 2021 started, I kept buying aggressively gold, silver. I kept realizing the profits with the watches, with the luxurious watches, with the cars. Bought the RS7 at the perfect top. So this actually is how you realize the profits. Okay. And so I'm not really that bothered too much anymore because I made a lot of money on this market. But still, a lot of uncertain sideways bullshit price action. No logical way to look at it. Just people have to realize and understand that there's, they go liquidated. They have to accept the fact, and it takes time for the market to get out of this post-traumatic stress disorder, shock. Right? And what it does, this is all a big bargain about, as I said, regular 30-40% retracements are already big bargain in the bull market. And any excessive abnormal volatility to the downside, which goes, well beyond 50 to 60%, that is something of big buying opportunity. And this definitely is confirmed by the price action of Bitcoin, by the statistics, by the overall fear and greed index statistics as well, by the NUPL, and it definitely does not look like a top. Right, so whatever happens in here, you would see a lot of close directional less movement, then to later recover, in my opinion, in a similar manner that it did with COVID crash to zero, then to later probably just take some time and continue higher. Right, I still believe the top would come around Q4, November, December this year, and yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, so you didn't see the chart. So one more time, I was talking about the NUPL. We should display the chart. I was talking about the NUPL in here, right? That we are in the same place in here right now, in my opinion, that we are, like if I were to refer, in my opinion, the stage on the market that we are kind of like right now here is this stage referred to this entire bull market cycle of 2017. I hope it does make sense. It doesn't definitely look like top. Yeah. Sorry about that. It happens. It happens, guys. You have to excuse me. I'm still only human. So yeah, back to what I was saying, sideways, directional and sideways to later recover, right? That is what I would expect. And it would take time. It would take time here in the sideways until market becomes again somehow directional, until it breaks out to the upside and just literally goes to new all-time highs. But what I said, even inside outside the chart, $90,000, $120,000 targets are definitely on the table, with or without the chart. This is confirmed by the but as I said, right now for it to be a good buying opportunity, by the fear and greed index, strictly statistically speaking, by the NUPL chart, by the abnormal volatility to the downside, by Bitcoin statistics, by the overall sentiment on the market, by the amount of FUD that you're getting. You always get the FUD on the bottoms, and you always get the most bullish news on the tops. That's how it works. Yeah. So for now, I'm super curious how much actually was not how much was missed. But I told you the most important part, right? No top indicator actually is showing the top. The chart is looking that with some time, okay, with some time, it's it's going to, in my opinion, kind of like, recover within the next days, weeks. Okay. Yes. Okay. Also, there's a question: what's the realistic bottom? This, in my opinion, bottom is in already. Okay, so the same way bottom was in for 3,800 in the COVID crash, the same way I think that $30,000 is the bottom here, and we are just going to oscillate, within those boundaries between $33,000 perhaps, all the way up to 40, 45. You have to expect big volatility within this range. Some key level for the volatility and for the mean reversion is $48,000. Okay, and it will take time until we get there. This is also going to be considered the breakdown retest level. Again, technical analysis would suggest that those levels would be of biggest technical importance. Right, so whenever you go to the upside above, this will be considered bullish all over again. For now, it's of course in the medium term bearish trend, because it made the new lows. Okay, after the new lower highs. But it's temporary in my opinion. Again, so the simplest way I would look at it is, you could literally, like, even take it for the daily, you could literally just take this, right? Take what happened in here and kind of like take it, right? Move it. That is what I would expect, right? Where is this? That is type of a price action that I would expect over here, right? Of course, we have to kind of like just take it, but that is something that I would expect, and more to the upside, something like this. That is what I would expect, if you ask me. Okay, I'm going to pause this chart on my individual trading channel for everybody to see. Okay, I even drop it in here for you guys as well. And yeah, that is pretty crazy. Everybody, I really hope you're appreciating so far. And if you're watching on YouTube, on our YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and leave your thumbs up, leave a comment, leave your questions if you want to know, some of my thoughts on something that I didn't share before. Yeah. And as I said, you have to excuse me that I didn't share the screen for 2-3 minutes. Shit's happened, I'm actually just deep into preparations for my wedding right now, so it's definitely a lot of sleepless nights going on, a lot of work. We are actually wrapping up the Congress as well, because there was definitely a lot of going on for the Congress, so we are wrapping this up before the wedding starts. And look at the glasses. Look at the Birb glasses reflection. That was an emergency way to see my charts that I was sharing. That was pretty funny. Yeah, I appreciate kind words, everybody. Okay. There are questions like how I did learn all of this. So not many of you may know that I'm a certified technical analyst. I'm actually having my final designation exam for June, scheduled for June 15th. Right, there's a lot of knowledge, experience being shared with you guys, and I really hope you appreciate it. And again, if you do, make sure to leave your thumbs up and subscribe. And moving on, we have about 15 minutes left. I really want to make sure that I'm treating you the best I can. So please, guys, I'm happy to answer some of the questions in about 5 minutes. So please, if you have any questions, this is your time right now to shoot them in the chat. I'll pick a couple of them and try to cover them in 5 minutes. And until then, I want to just show you what I think will happen in a similar manner with Litecoin and Ethereum. There was extremely excessive volatility for Ethereum. I haven't seen, like, before that happened, I hadn't seen anything like this before. This, as a matter of fact, like, looks like a blow off top. This does look like a blow off top much more than BTC does. Okay, so if I were anybody to call the top, and have to choose between the top on BTC or Ethereum, I would go for calling the Ethereum top. But as long as BTC does not top out, Ethereum does not either, right? So I don't think this is a retail top, but just like a big, extremely abnormal volatility correction going on, right? Don't forget that Ethereum is not a standalone. I mean, it is a standalone asset, but it is connected with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the main denominator for the entire market. So whatever happens on the Bitcoin, every other altcoin and crypto is correlated with Bitcoin. Okay, and I refer to that so many times as the overall superposition effect, right? Superposition effect, SPE. So that whenever you have, let's say, BTC price, right, against USD, you have the altcoin, okay, against USD, and you also have, or should I say, altcoin against BTC, right, and altcoin against USD, right? So what happens is, if Bitcoin goes up against dollar, and this one stays flat, right? The overall correlation stays flat, I should say, strength between Bitcoin and altcoin remains flat, then what happens is the superposition effect for altcoin USD pair is positive, is upwards. Whenever this one goes up and this one goes up as well, which happens always only in the biggest alt seasons, you have a double pump, right? So let's say if Bitcoin pumps 5%, right, and this pumps 5%, right, then what happens is you usually have about around 10% of the pump on altcoin USD, right? Approximately. This is not just a simple addition, but approximately is like that, right? And the other way around, whenever this one is flat, but altcoin against BTC pumps, then we see pump about altcoin USD, right? Whenever this one goes down, and this one stays flat, superposition suggests that altcoin against USD would drop as well, right? And if this drops, and if this one drops, which was the case for Ethereum, okay, you saw the drop against BTC, you saw the drop against USD, then that again, I mean, you saw the drop for BTC and drop against, and this drop Ethereum BTC, as a strong reaction on the selling from Bitcoin, then you saw a double superposition effect on the selling side. And this is what brought this excessively aggressive downside retracement on altcoins, especially Litecoin and Ethereum, right? 64% retracement on Litecoin or 57% retracement on Ethereum, 55, whatever. Now, I do believe that this is insanely profitable buying opportunity in a similar manner, because I don't believe that Bitcoin topped out. And for the superposition effect, I would expect Litecoin and Ethereum to continue upwards, right? And if Bitcoin makes new all-time highs, Ethereum and Litecoin should make new all-time highs as well. And Litecoin has always been lagging against Ethereum, right? If you look at it, here's the all-time high, right? Here's the we can actually just switch the time frames. Jesus, I really hope you see my screen still. Yeah, let's do weekly. Let's do weekly here as well, right? So what you see is Ethereum on the left and Litecoin on the right. So if we kind of like have similar sizes, I should say, for comparison, for the context, then what you see, okay, then what you literally see is that Litecoin is still missing comparably this entire part, right? Litecoin is missing this. And Litecoin just lags behind Ethereum, but it usually catches up. And there is no reason to believe that it's not going to catch up because it's a bull market. But at one point, the superposition itself effect, even if a Litecoin against BTC stays flat, then if Bitcoin keeps pumping, then Litecoin against USD would keep pumping as well towards new all-time high. So that is another chart again for the main comparison for where Litecoin is against against Ethereum, right? Litecoin is somewhere over here. Litecoin is here. Okay, everybody. I think it's the right time to actually go for a couple of questions of yours. So let's get a sip of a coffee and have a read. Yeah, you guys are welcome. This is always my good pleasure, to be sharing these streams with you. And yeah, my Discord is public, although there is a paid exclusive section. Everybody can join. And actually, glad you asked, because you can join at theburbinist.com/discord. Okay, and I'm glad you asked because right now, as of now, we have about 2 days left until we raise of the discounts. Because right now, as we speak, we actually have the ongoing discounts across the board. Okay, because the 200K celebration and anything that you want, if you want to join, for the signals, or if you want to learn trading, or if you want the personal guidance from private mentor like myself or my team, every price right now is heavily discounted, and that's not all. It's not only discounted, and after the discounts end in 2 days, we are actually boosting the prices. Okay, so the regular prices are going up. So it's like a double discount. It's like loading the dip on the nest if you want to join that. And besides, there is 7 days free trial. Okay, which if you go for, there's again no credit cards required. Just put in your name, you just put in your email, right, and you're in within a matter of a couple of minutes. And other than that, again, but because it's 7 days free, you're not going to be able to fully. If you wait, and if you wait, and if you reject this pricing on the discounts, well, there's no turning back. And again, if you I have to make you aware, everybody, that we are being very selective for who's able to join. We don't accept any negative people. We don't accept any people who just go to goof around and play fucking jokes to lose our time. Okay, we have about 20,000 members on Discord right now publicly. We have more than 1,000 people just being paid members, which is pretty insane. I think that makes us probably one of the biggest groups, like in the entire spaces, if not the biggest. We are definitely one of the most reputable trade groups since 2017. And yeah, there is Gordon. Now it's cheap. I remember when I joined 0.07 BTC for 6 months. It is unquestionable, guys, that again, lots of traders need help, but we are not able to help everybody on the planet because we simply ran out of space, right? And because so many people joined throughout the Congress in the past 2 weeks, now we have only limited space. And for that reason, again, I don't accept any people who are joking. I don't accept people who are refusing to learn. I do not accept people who are coming there to be served and spoon-fed. If you want and expect me to fix your portfolio, or expect Fairytooth to expect you to bring your portfolio to the upside, then this is not a place for you, and please don't waste our time. Okay, but we only have time for the real people, like for those who want to learn, for those who really approach trading in a serious manner, who really are serious about their money. Okay, and if you are such a person who want to join to really improve, to factually make a change, and once and for all just cut out all the losses and literally learn how to remain self-sustainable trader for the long term, then you have 2 days left until our discounts go off, until our discounts expire, and actually until we increase the prices. So if you're interested, just go to the birbness.com, okay? With pricing, go to the birbness.com/discord if you want to join up again, and 7 days free, so that you can just decide on if you want to join again. Other than that, I really want to get you a couple of answers, right? Because we still have about 5-10 minutes left. By the way, there is a question: is there a free version of Birbicator Pro? There actually somehow, well, you can call it this way, because this is Birbicator. This is an indicator which is a trend following indicator. This is like a poor version of Birbicator Pro. This is where it started. Okay, this is something that you can get on just putting the Birbicator. Okay, when you get it, it's free. Okay, but Birbicator Pro is definitely something else, right? This is a complete trading system. Well, Birbicator is an indicator. This is a complete trading system, which literally I trust it with all my money. Okay, with any trades I make for 6, 7 figures, I make it all based on BPro. Okay, and I'm definitely not, I trust it with my heart. And on top of that, it actually just gave a solid warning right before the drop happened, right, which was exactly over here. So there, about $52,000, there was a way out in a very solid manner right before the drop to $30,000. And yeah, in BPro, the trading system is actually going up double. Okay, and there is no turning back. And moving on to the questions. Let's actually have a few of them. So realistic bottom, I think I already answered that to Tom Lee. I do believe that realistic bottom is already in. And the only bottom I would talk about is the bottom of the bear market, which I would expect to be between $10,000 and $14,000 in the next within the next year or year and a half. That's what I would expect. I appreciate your kind words for love the analysis, mate. Arthur, appreciate it. There is Bitcoin will dip to 20K. I don't believe it will dip to 20K. Thoughts on altcoins, please. Okay, this is in concrete. I like altcoins. Here's my answer. Right? I cannot give concrete answers to unconcrete questions. Yeah, so Pauline shared to my Discord. Again, it's thebirbness.com/Discord. Okay, just make sure you go for it. Martinez, hey, do you think they try to keep BTC price under $42,000 and option close around 40K? I think next week. Might be the case. Should we buy this dip? Honestly, guys, I don't know what you should do with your own money. For me, $1,000 is nothing, but for some people, it can be more than they can ever get. So it's completely different life situations, you know. Everybody has their own situation. So I don't know. I know what I should do with my money. I don't know what you should do with your money, but I can teach you what you should do with your money. That is for sure. All right. There's Polish. Congratulations about the wedding, Dzięki Marta. I see his glasses reflection Bitcoin dropping to 37,000, which is funny. Katie Wood said that we're in the capitulation phase. I don't know who Katie Wood is, to be honest. I heard its name so many times, but I have no idea what it is. It's still capitulation phase, in my opinion, yes. How low do you think it is possible? Getting really worried. Stuck a leverage long. Everybody listen to me very carefully because I repeated only once. If you have just joined the market, if you are new in this market, if you have just joined and you have no fucking clue what you're doing, you have no idea what you're doing, then I personally forbid you to use leverage. Okay, you do whatever you want, but I, Adrian CryptoBirb, do not allow you to use leverage if you're new. Okay, if you are trying to get leverage this dip or anything right now on any asset, then you better give this money over to the charity. We, for the next 2 days, we of all the memberships and all the money generated as the Birb Nest, as the company, from your subscriptions, I'm actually going to personally donate it to a charity and to Part Sanctuary in Arizona on Oasis, Scottsdale. Okay, and if you want to apply leverage, you better give it up. I give it an address, and you better donate it to these charities. Okay, you make it better use of it. Hey, you're really good and talented analytics. Thanks. How do you see BTC for this week? So already answered. Sideways and slow recovery upwards. What about altcoins? The volatility makes altcoins suffer. So I would stay away from altcoins. Usually in those bottoms, at this extremely volatile dips and volatile movements, I would suggest so that you don't really use too many altcoins. Okay, so that you don't only way to play altcoins right now is to load the dip and wait for the next couple of months. That is a good decision in my opinion, for most of the cases. Okay, but if you play to short-term trade this dip, you're going to get wrecked big time. And at the same time, as I said, you better give it off to the charity. Ethereum was shared. Appreciated, Arthur. Any chance of channeling going to 200 this cycle? I think it is possible. Because of Elon's tweet regarding power consumption of BTC, what do you think of Nano? I don't see too much correlation between Elon and Nano. I think that Nano, just like any other mid-cap altcoin, or high-cap altcoin, would slowly recover. Every altcoin got hit because there was definitely big drawdown in the market across all the positions and across all the alts and bitcoins and Bitcoin alternatives. But this, all the news, all the bullshit that just doesn't make sense, this China FUD going on, this is just hilarious. You see me laughing, guys. You see me laugh about that. I've seen it so many times. It always happens on the bottoms. They always, on the bottom, they will print you millions of newspapers saying Bitcoin is dead, Bitcoin is dead, Bitcoin collapsed, Bitcoin dead, Bitcoin crashed, right? Just to set people the most negative, so they literally sell on the bottom, and this way they generate the liquidity. I don't know, there's nothing to not understand about it. LDC targets, I would expect $1,000 at least. Hey, buddy, you mentioned there, if the top is in, we will have 30%, 40% drop in one day. That's what I said. That's what we had, and it would fit in our infos. But does not fit now. Same way that COVID crashed, that did not fit in that. Same way I would believe that is not the case in here. So there is an engineer. It's not easy to move this big market, 1 trillion market, right? To move it, you have to literally engineer the liquidity on that, right? Before you make any bigger moves. So if you want to get out a player, somewhere down the bottom of the market to liquidate them, reportedly it had to do something with 3 Arrow Capital and Justin Sun, but I have no real confirmation for that. But I don't believe this is the top. I still believe the top would have 30, not 30, but 40 plus % retracement. 40%, I think you confused it, because 40%, I keep referring that this is completely normal, regular volatility. Okay, I was talking about $40,000 drop candle. Okay, $30,000 drop, not 40%. 40% is definitely regular. And so I think there was some confusion. Hard to have questions when you explain it so well. Thank you, Phil, as well. I'll be liquidated at $34,000, David. Should I sell now or hold desperately and pray? You shouldn't be playing leverage, because if you play leverage, I cannot help you really, because you're there's nothing to help. I cannot help you decide if the decision has been already made. You made the decision to enter on liquid with the liquidation price so low and so tight. I assume you entered somewhere between 25, 25x or 50x, 30x perhaps leverage. which is 5 or 10 times too high for anybody who's new. Other question. Do you believe in XRP? I don't. Is this the longer leg of capitulation phase? This is capitulation, but locally, I do believe that there is recovery coming up. My Ethereum would be liquidated 150. Should I close my long? I think you already got liquidated. Is there a correlation with S&P 500? I think yes. I think, of course, yes. All of the markets are correlated. Some of them are correlated in a stronger manner. The other ones are correlated in a poorer manner. DeFi projects to watch. I watch Linear Finance, DeFi Click. I watch Radix, CXRD. I watch Earn, Eternity Chain. I watch, what else? Polkemon, of course. Right, those types. I saw Aher saying, I saw Bitcoin dying 300 times in 7 years. Exactly. What about Matic? I'm not interested in Matic, Polygon. It pumped too much to even bring my interest anymore. Yeah, David, I really wish I could help. I mean, if you want, join up the nest and I'll help you somehow figure it out. But it's decision needs to be planned. Decisions need to be planned. I cannot help a decision, that is already made. I can help you make the right decision, but I cannot help you change the decision after you made it because that's already done. I think we're in the bear market, and I think you are wrong. Think Chainlink go over 100? Yes. Comment on Doge. Do you think they are just pure FOMO? Yes. Fontaine meeting. Yeah, that was it. What is that? Guys, I really think, because I just didn't notice we already past the time. I really appreciate you joining. I really appreciate your joining. This very stream, this very webinar. I hope you found value in that. And if you do, and if you find value in what I shared, please make sure to leave a thumbs up, leave a comments if you enjoyed that. Ask your questions in the comments so that I can answer them. Pause the show. And please make sure you subscribe and put your bells on, put your notifications on, so that the next upcoming webinars just pop up on your feed and you can see and tune in to be able to actually get the free knowledge and make better decisions as traders, right? That is going to help you mature as a trader and literally save and make big buck out of it. Stay safe, guys. I really hope you survive this. Let's make sure that if you want to enjoy, even more of the exclusive content, of course, just hop in thebirbnest.com, go to thebirbnest.com, use the special discount code that you're going to get, and get in the nest, join up the exclusive members. More than 1,000 people who are already exclusive since 2017, the biggest and the most reputable trade group, which is pretty much well confirmed. And guys, see you in the nest, thebirbnest.com. God bless you. Bye.